Hey, Brambro back with some Grand Tactician Civil War. Our CSA campaign recently started in the 1.06 live. Okay, so where we left off in the last episode is we've got some action going up here in the northern part of Virginia, and this is going to be an episode that's primarily going to be taken up by a battle, I think. Before getting into that, though, just a couple of things, some comments from prior episodes. There was one person who asked, hey, can we have some volunteer British units armed with British weapons? And the reply that I made in the comments was along the lines of, well, I'm not planning on pursuing those particular weapons projects, so I don't think I'm going to do that. Later, I remembered we in fact have one brigade that is armed with Enfields. So, guess what? Here in the Peninsula Army, there we go. The 1st Royal American is suitably in red coats, armed with Enfields. So yeah, this says they're from Virginia, but these are British volunteers. And, well, they're under the command of Billy Mahone. That's just going to have to do. in his gray coat. But was able to do that. But no, I do not intend to pursue the British artillery, though. So I don't think there's going to be a Royal American Artillery. At least if there is, it won't be until way, way, way far in the campaign. If we get into 1863 and I don't know what to do with my Diplo subsidy money, remind me. Maybe we'll be able to do that. But that'll be many, many episodes in the future, I'm sure. Okay. Had another question from someone. I had mentioned that off camera I went around and I swapped out a lot of political officers into the fort commands. And someone was asking, how exactly do you do that? What's the button mashing there? Okay, so here I put a volunteer officer back into Fort Thompson here in North Carolina. Lieutenant Colonel Richard Page. He is a volunteer, and I want to put a political officer in here. So what you do is you come in here to the military tab. You find Fort Thompson. It's in here somewhere. There we go. There's Lieutenant Colonel Page. He is a volunteer, and we want a political officer in here. Now, the political officer we put in here may not be any better than Page's. Probably won't be. There are some pretty good political officers, but I like to save those for use in the field armies for a brigade or something. Forts is where I put my lesser political officers. But the political officers have the benefit of kind of increasing state support a little bit in their home state. So you go here to replace. That brings up all the officers eligible and some who aren't. All these generals are, redded out there, not grayed out, but redded out because they're too senior, apparently, for a fort command. So over here in the filters, then you have, you can sort for just show the unassigned, which is default, show the volunteers, show the professionals, show the political. So you check political, and so that narrows it down. And these are all political generals or officers. These guys up here have been saved. These are kind of the guys that I want in field armies, like John B. Gordon here. He's a pretty good dude. Wade Hampton. But like this guy, Joseph Finnegan, Florida, not very good. He's got a little bit more fame. Or we can go with like William Crawford, Bradley Johnson. But see, they have this politically assigned icon. These are the guys that increase support in their home state. The downside of political officers is they are more apt to feud. However, in this campaign, I have feuds turned off. As I talked about at the beginning of episode 1, because by and large, feuds kind of hurt the AI more than they hurt the player. So really, the way I'm playing this campaign, all these guys are really just volunteer officers who happen to give a little bit of support to their home states, is how they're functioning, because they're not feuding. Which helps me a little bit, but it probably helps the AI even more. Alright, so we'll just, I think Finnegan is a guy I actually had in here before, and I put Paige back in there just to show this. Alright, so we've chosen Finnegan to take command at Fort Thompson, and then you go down here and hit Assign. And there you go. That's how you switch command in a fort. And that's how you switch command for any unit. It's the same process for changing out command of a division, a brigade, an artillery battalion. Okay, so that's how I did that. And I did that off camera because, you know, we've got, if we turn off the field armies, you know, we have 37 forts. And I wasn't gonna, you know, I didn't want everybody to have to sit through me going through and doing all that clicky click for 37 different forts. Okay. What else we got here? It's September 2nd, which means just yesterday we got a new economy and intel report. Let's have a look at those. Okay, so as of yesterday, credit rating BBB plus still, that's all right. Our debt is up to 190 million. We've issued the debt, I think 3 times at least in this campaign so far. So it is mounting, and our army is not very big yet. So this credit rating is going to continue to drop. Expansion for wealth, or excuse me, for economy, wealth is mediocre and increasing still. That's good. Tax revenues were down just a little bit. Not very much. Didn't build any buildings last month. We've got an export-import gap, a trade imbalance, but it's compared to what I saw in the previous beta campaign, not nearly as much. Exports are about, roughly not quite 3 times as much as exports, whereas it was more like an 8-to-1 or 10-to-1 ratio before. So I think that's going okay. And we lack food, iron, and flour, just like last time. Let's see what Intel says the Union, the Union is up to. I was watching a Union campaign. I got a little mixed up there. Alright, so they're working on Militia Act 3. That makes sense. Apparently they have already completed Hall's carbines. So that is the carbine version of the Hall rifle. This will give them Hall rifles as well. I think both the Hall rifle and carbine are included in that project, if I understand correctly. So those are pretty good weapons. I don't know if I'm a big fan of running into a lot of Union brigades using these. However, if we do, that's going to give us an opportunity to capture some. I would not be against that. For some reason, these intel reports always show the relationship to Spain, which I think is weird. They've recruited 13,000 men over the past month into 6 brigades. Okay, that makes sense. They've formed the Army of the Tennessee, rather. I don't think we've spotted that one. We spotted the Army of the Mississippi and the Army of Indiana, not the Army of the Tennessee. And they've raised a few fleets and built 13 new ships. 83% overall morale in their armies, having dropped recently. That makes sense because this, not exactly a siege, but this trench warfare that's happening up near Winchester, they've had some broken units from that. And that started before September 1st, I think. So that makes sense. And the intel indicates that they're carrying out offensive operations. Yes, they are, because they came down to try to retake Winchester, which we are dealing with now. Okay, and then finally, before we get to the battle, we've got a few projects which have filled up that are available. Let's have a look. We've got our first level of railroad construction available. Talked about that. Going to take that one. We've got some ag ones, including plantation mech, but I am waiting and I'm going to go for farm mechanization because that increases available volunteers. And it's 10% per level. That's pretty good. So we're holding out for farm mech. Definitely not going civil order with military. And we're getting pretty close to our legacy rifles there, so that's good. However, need to kind of bounce back and forth between, it's about recruiting an army and arming an army, so we need to bounce back and forth between weapons projects and a little bit of recruiting here early on. So for now, I am going to take, it's down here, the first level of recruitment offices, which will increase our manpower as well. We're down to a 31,000 volunteer pool, which may sound like a fair amount. That's a lot of brigades. However, the tooltip doesn't reflect that that's broken down state by state. We may not have very many states from which we could recruit even a medium-sized infantry brigade. So we need to get this ramping up too. Okay. And just to kind of go back to, I was talking about the foreign weapons. These are pretty expensive in general, and that includes, for infields, we need British rifles, which is quite a bit of Diplo subsidy. We do not have a lot of Diplo subsidies coming in. And then the Brit artillery is even more than that, 10 mil. The reason why I think, no one's told me this, but I think the reason why this British Rifles project is so expensive is because not only does it provide the infield, but it also provides infield musketoons, which are a superb cavalry weapon. Not very fast firing, but excellent range for a cavalry weapon, as well as very accurate. And the Whitworth rifle, which is arguably probably, if not the best, then one of the top 2 rifles available in the game. 600-yard range. These are the things that make this project so expensive, not the infields. Now, the infields should be kind of a standard infantry arm that goes out in large numbers, whereas these others are specialized, or ostensibly would be specialized. I kind of think these infields ought to be broken out into a separate project, which is not quite as expensive. Something more on the order of the Austrian rifles, something like that. That's just my opinion. Okay, I think that does it for projects. So what have we here? Okay, so we've got kind of this defensive battle. It's not exactly a siege, but it's like trench warfare going on here in the Winchester area. And there's pluses and minuses to this for us. The plus is that a lot of Union units are breaking. And right now it's showing the advantage being toward our side. And we can see that quite a few Union brigades have already broken here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 so far. So that's the plus for just continuing and letting this resolve. The downside is there's another Union army over here that we do not where it has been for the last 6 weeks. It could be closer. It could like pop right through here and join this battle at any time. We have lost sight again of Patterson's Department of Pennsylvania. Patterson could come over here from the Frederick route and join this at any time. And also, even if they do not do that, the casualty exchange is not in our favor at all. The Union's lost about 1,000 men. We've lost about 3,500. So the idea that this defensive battle would result in lower casualties for us isn't really bearing fruit. I've taken more casualties than I expected, straight up. And some of our units are starting to break too. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they've had 7 break, and we've had 4 break. And with these increased casualties on our side, I'm a little concerned that this is going to flip on us, and we're going to have more and more break. You know, 3rd Brigade here, they're down to stable. 2nd Brigade here is down to unstable. So I'm kind of thinking, let's go ahead and convert this to a tactical battle. And it's fairly even in that McDowell has got fewer men. He's got a lot of cav though. So he's got about 24,000 men here, maybe 23 and a half, and has taken fewer casualties. We have more men overall, but we just have that one little bitty cav brigade, which has taken some losses, it appears. Anyway, you get the idea. So let's go ahead and convert this. And this may be a terrible idea, I don't know. Maybe the right move would be go to an auto-resolve assault. I'm not going to do that though. Let's get into this and see what we got. And I don't know if this is... I don't know what kind of situation this is going to put us into either. Defending, assaulting, I have no idea. Yeah. These are units that are already started with broken units because of the siege that has been going on up till now. Okay, it's a meeting situation, and let's see here. So the Buffalo Road is the one objective, but it is inside our deployment zone. So this is essentially going to turn into a defensive situation for us. Here's the telltale flat spots in the deployment zone, which shows this is where the 2 deployment zones are butting up against each other in here. So it's very possible the Union Army is right here in Winchester, and we can kind of check that out. Let's just bring these out a little bit so they're more visible. Somewhere we've got a little bitty cav division. Here. Just put him right here on the edge. See if he... Nope. Nope. There they are. There's Billy Yank. Okay, well, we know where they are, and they want that objective too. What do we have 22 engineering points. Okay, so all right, that's going to be enough for probably 4 to 6 brigades worth of breastworks, and I think you know, it's wide open right here. I'm just gonna form a defensive line right across here, and yeah, probably right here, just right through the objective, and I will be back. Okay, here we are. So, line of breastworks all the way across here. You know what? I've actually got room for a few more. So I just noticed that just as I was put Bates here, and I'm going to leave McBride over here as kind of a reserve brigade. These two brigades are the two new brigades that came up from the recruiting command, so this is their first combat, and I moved them into Johnston's army and they've arrived. However, I forgot to organize them into a division, so they are directly under Joe Johnston's command. So let me move him over a little bit closer to him so that won't have much order delay if we need to tell him to do anything. Okay, so this is kind of an interesting situation because Beauregard's army was involved in that siege battle, sort of, much earlier than Johnston's was. Okay, so the low morale units from that are Beauregard's brigades. Morale-wise, Johnston's brigades are in good shape. However, Johnston's brigades are all smoothbore armed. Matter of fact, these two new units, they're mixed musket arms. Jackson's and Kirby Smith's divisions at least have Springfield muskets, which aren't any better firepower-wise, really, other than damage once they do get in range. Our Mississippi rifles and our Springfield rifle muskets are in Beauregard's brigades under Longstreet and A.P. Hill, and those are the unstable brigades from the siege warfare that they've been going through. Okay, so we've got a fairly short range line here up on the line, and even the two halfway decent brigades under Beauregard in Ewell's division, those are Springfield musket armed as well. Well, and they're unstable. I think they're not doing so hot either. Well, it is what it is. So the line is smoothbores, and over here I've got Longstreet and Hill's divisions. But what I've done is I've kind of put them, I mean, they're kind of sitting back over here because of the shape of the deployment arc, but also, you know, once we get into the battle, their morale should at least stabilize. And I've got the Mississippis in front, so hopefully they'll be able to shoot without getting shot at least for a little while. And actually I'm going to put some skirms out from these divisions as well. They're going to be kind of wonky because the skirms can't go out past the deployment zone. You know what? I'm going to put that skirm out after we get time rolling. And I've also placed our little bitty cavalry division, not intended for combat. I'm putting them over here because presence of nearby cavalry is a morale buff. So I'm hoping that simply having these few horsemen here will help get, see, they've got this little nearby friendly cav morale buff. So I'm hoping that helps stabilize all these units' morale a little bit faster. I wonder how far that do these guys have it? Yeah, even up here. That's a fair distance away from the cav. These guys on the line are getting it as well, including at least a couple, including this Washington Artillery Battalion. So the artillery is all, there's one of 12-pound field guns, but everybody else is just 6-pounders. I've got them set back a little bit. I think they're far enough back where their fire should be able to clear over the line. We'll see. This could be a misleading firing arc here. It kind of looks optimistic. We'll see if it looks like that once time starts rolling. In any case, we should start capturing the objective. We've got breastworks, and the onus is on them to advance. And even though we're having morale problems, so are they, because we are fighting in Virginia, and our overall morale is 49, but theirs is 38. And they've got wavering units over there as well. quite a few. So this is going to be kind of a who breaks first situation, and hopefully the breastworks make enough of a difference. Let's get time rolling. Okay, let's get these skirmishers out, kind of facing this. Yeah, there they go. Let's get these skirms out. Now these guys, I don't think that they're going to improve back up to eager or anything, but I'm hoping that at least they will stabilize and not continue to drop. Now, if nothing else changes, we do have a minor victory right now. It's up to the Union to make something happen here. Okay, the artillery is banging away. So they are able to fire over our defensive lines. They're far enough back. They've got targets. That's great. And having learned our lesson in the last battle, let's put all these yahoos on counter battery. I mean, part of the issue we had with the artillery in that last battle, where we got eaten up by counter battery, I had the artillery kind of out in front. They were like the most obvious target. So, and let's lay skirmishers down. Let's get these. No, let's just go ahead and lay these down as well. Letting the Union make the move. We've got the position. It's up to him. Let's see what the AI does here. Okay, we've done a little bit of work on this artillery. Looks like this guy's taking fire. He's taking some casualties. Good. Are our guys taking fire? No, 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 and no. Okay. So the artillery deal is kind of going in the opposite direction this time. They are firing on our skirmishers, our laying down skirmishers, instead of our artillery, while we are working on theirs. Looks like the brigades are just kind of have fallen back to get out of artillery range. Okay. Well, basically we've just got artillery deal going on right now. He's not advancing yet. Let's just speed time up. Oh, what's he doing now? Okay, kind of looks like maybe he's making an attack on our left, possibly. Are these guys still... Yeah, they have not stabilized. Well, we got some moving left, some moving right. I don't know if they know what they're doing. I think he's just reorienting his entire position. Yeah, see that? I was pointing at it. I was pointing at my monitor with my finger, like you guys could see that. This guy right here, he's stationary, so it looks like they're kind of forming. Yeah, they're forming along this axis now. So they're going to make the attack right here on, probably focus on this point, which is smart because these are where the weaker brigades are. Morale-wise, they're actually better armed, so I hope that makes a difference for us. Okay, these are starting to stabilize. McLaws he's stable, not unstable, and he's black text, not orange, which means it's coming up rather than declining. Holmes is still unstable. Pickett is stable now, good. Okay, so Longstreet's division's coming together. Okay, he's got skirms coming out. Our Mississippi rifle armed skirms are starting to get engaged there. They probably won't last that long. Okay, artillery's all still doing good. Okay, I think we've got an advance going here. And some of these units over here may very well break. Okay, at least Jones is in decent morale situation now. I thought I'd given everybody long-range orders during deployment phase. Apparently I missed Jones. Yeah, I think I did it with Johnson's army. I think this is a pretty smart attack by the AI, as he's attacking this side. Lower morale, and no works here. I probably should have set up some works to refuse this flank, at least as far as the creek. Okay, we're getting some skirms driven in. It's alright, it makes sense. Mississippi skirmishers are wavering, but they're holding out so far, and yeah, not doing too bad for a resilience loss. And Longstreet's division is now in good enough shape where they can come up in here and take the place of A.P. Hill's division if necessary, and it may be necessary. Things are obviously looking pretty good over on Johnston's front, but not good enough where I want to come out of the works. If we had rifles over here, I think I would, but with smoothbores, I think I will not. Artillery is wavering. He's taken, he really hasn't taken that many casualties, but he's not having a good day. And that artillery battalion not doing so hot either. Ours are all doing fine. They're not taking any counter battery, I think. Nelson's taking a little bit over here. Just a little bit. Okay, looks like that skirm unit has been driven in. Bonham's skirms are still doing okay. I wonder if Evans can get skirms back out. Yes. I would I'd rather the skirms take the fire. Preserves the casualties and the resilience of the parent brigade. Although just a few yards in front, I don't know if I don't know if that'll be true. Okay, the volunteer brigade is making an advance here. Yeah, Bonham's LOS is impacted by these units in front of them. That's okay. Bonham's holding on. No, he's getting flanked now. Let's go ahead and pull him in before he actually breaks. We've got a charge going on here. How's this going to turn out? It may... Uh-oh. Cav is broken through here. There's a lot of cav, or a lot of artillery within canister range of that cav. Yep, the cav broke as well. Let's go ahead and bring Longstreet's division up closer, about to here. I mean, Coke had a lot of issues. His morale was not great, even up on the breastworks. Successful cav charge. He did kind of meet it in the sense that at least the cav broke too. So I don't think they're going to be able to exploit that break in our works. Once Longstreet's division gets up, we'll take... matter of fact, let's just order Pickett to get right up on that breastwork now. AP Hills guys are holding. I wonder if... I don't know what's going on with Bonham's brigade here. There we go. That'll get him firing. I hope. Maybe. What you doing there, Bonham? What happens if I just advance you just a scooch? Will that break your daydreaming there? There they go. Bonham's engaged. Just needed a little bit of encouragement. Alright, let fly with those Mississippis. Or not. Says firing. Pickett's coming up to plug the hole in the line. Let's go see how Johnson's doing. Johnson's largely unengaged, really. I think that's just, yeah, that's just some skirms here. This is going okay. Those guys are they're not really taking that many losses, so they're not happy, but they're giving, I think they're giving better than they're receiving for now. Let's bring McLaws up to about here, be in position to plug a gap if needed. Same with Theophilus Holmes, although he's wavering himself. Let's just bring Longstreet up, since all of his brigades are up here. Okay, we've got Cav advancing here on Jones. Here, take a little buck and ball in the face. How do you like that? There's a broken artillery back here. Let's see how our arty's doing. Rosser, fine. Walker, fine. Pendleton, fine. Yeah, Arty's doing great, and they're banging away. And it looks like Coke at least has not left the field and is back here getting his morale buffed up by Beauregard. He should be coming back up if we need him. Wait, who just broke there? Ah, Evans broke. Okay. I don't want Holmes. Just advance him a little bit. Try to get him up here where he can shoot without getting shot at too much. Oh, Jones is about to give up the ghost. Need to get Pickett's facing turned. By no means a done deal. Okay, Bonham is still doing okay. His losses are climbing. At some point, I'm not going to change the knot yet, but I'm going to move McLaws up close behind him, so that I don't even have to move McLaws. When the time comes, I'll just move Bonham, fall back right past the passage of lines. Maybe. Gonna move up there. No. Okay, Holmes engaged. He's still close enough to Longstreet to have that commander nearby. Pickett's banging away over here. The guy's falling back. Volunteer brigade advancing again. Now in this situation, this is where the Mississippi rifle starts to fade because of its lower rate of fire, and the range is getting so close that its range and accuracy are not as strong anymore. So let's just fall him back. Fall him back right through McLaws. I'm going to waited a little bit too long for that. Okay. Okay. Now they're falling back too. And as soon as Bonham falls back through McLaws, now we have a fresh brigade up in front here. How are things going in the rest of the battle? Well, unfortunately, Early is sitting here getting shot at and not able to shoot back. But I think it's still better just to let Johnson's guys be. Okay, McLaw's engaged now. It's still close. We have actually taken more casualties. Okay. I was sitting here thinking we were doing good. We're not. The morale situation is fine. Golly, we've taken 1,000 more than they have. Okay, I'm going to switch orders for the artillery. And we're going to get these two battalions bombarding this group. And we're going to get these battalions. What we need to do is break these units back here. They're all wavering, so let's see if some artillery bombardment will persuade them to head for the hills. That's not what I wanted. No. There we go. That's what I want. And see, my concern is these guys come out of their works and start advancing across here, and they're just going to get hit, and it all breaks up. And I also don't want to expose them to this artillery fire here. Yeah, Evans is beating feet anyway. Where did this guy come from? I was thinking it was Jones. It was Donaldson who was up here on this breastwork. Okay, I know Bonham is wavering, but we have got to get his guns back in action, so I am going to kind of move him back over here. And then I'll advance him up into this gap. And that's the only brigade Hill has left, so we'll move Hill with him. McLaws needs to basically hold the line here, be the center of the line. And actually, I want to make sure that it's McLaws and not Holmes that's taking the brunt of the fire. So I'm going to advance McLaws just a little bit. Okay, I think Pickett's doing fine where he is. Now this cav is low on ammo. Let's take this reserve brigade that Johnston has got. Let's bring him over here. Not like that. Okay, we'll move in baby steps. There, that's better. And so we'll bring McBride over to about here, and then we'll have him do a short advance on that cavalry brigade. Push him away. McBride gets over, then McBride and Early will push up on that cab. I thought I had told Bonham to come over here. He's not listening. Oh, Lomax is taking artillery fire. Really don't want them to take casualties, but I also want all these guys to maintain their cavalry present. Uh-oh, Holmes is about to. Holmes is about to break. Right, still marching over. doing good here, and Holmes is gone. Johnston over here, since McBride's orders come directly from him. Bonham just unresponsive here. There he goes. Need him firing. He may break, but I need him firing. It's sort of catching up a little bit. Taking more casualties, but the percentages are drawing closer. Okay, let's get McBride up here. Yeah, we got to come across here. If we don't, we're going to lose this thing. This brigade is falling back. I'm going to fall McLaws back just a little bit to his left to try to give Bonham a little bit better place in line from which to fire. Okay, that brigade is gone. I think this is starting to turn in our favor now. Man, this is a pretty expensive battle. I think we're going to come out okay. Okay, they're starting to fall back. Okay, Bonham's engaged. He's firing on this cab over here. Pickett's still engaged. He's got cover. He's not getting flanking fire from over here. That's good. Brian coming up into position. Looks like maybe the bombardment is having its desired effect. I hope. Well, I'm not seeing a lot of artillery puffs over here, though. I am going to dismount the cav just so I can tell them to lay down under that artillery fire. I don't really want them moving because I want that morale buff over here. Okay, now we've got some of Johnston's guys advancing over here. McBride is in position. Advance. early. Advance. This may be a terrible idea. Advance. So this is going to be a pretty important engagement here against Couch. Okay, McBride, with your mixed muskets, here's your time to be the hero or the goat. Jubal, go help. Yeah, let's get this artillery taken out. Skirms, get up here. On the artillery, go, go, go. Skirm's going to get in each other's way. Alright, Couch is pulling back. Whew! Looks like we've finally broken them, sent them back on the left there. Claus is taking some casualties. He can put skirms out, though, to go hit that artillery. Picket. Skirms. Send that artillery packing. Bonham. Skirms. Buckner needs to hit this artillery before he helps out with 1st Brigade. Yep, McBride is taking a little bit of flanking fire. Let's just change his facing a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, remove the flank debuff. That artillery's broken. Okay. Go. Work on the other artillery. Nice. Casualty situation. Phew. Slowly turning in our favor by percentage. We've still taken 4,400 to his 38. Man. Keep chasing that artillery. Go, Skirms, go. Johnston, come on up. Follow McBride. Okay, I don't want my guys advancing up into the bombardment, so let's turn those guys back to let's go counter battery again on them. They'll still shoot at other units if there's no artillery units available, and we'll do the same thing with these guys. Send the skirms over here to hound this artillery. Okay. I don't think I want any of these brigades doing much more. They've taken a beating. It's not even 6 o'clock in the morning yet. Most of that actually took place at night. It's just now. Nope, I don't want that. I did not intend for that to happen. Just go shoot them. Go. Okay. Let's see, August, so... Yeah, theoretically fighting daylight doesn't occur until 0600, so this was a pre-dawn engagement. Come on, skirms, keep chasing them. I mean, the skirms are really better than infantry brigades because they're faster. Ideally, they should be faster. Let's keep guys going forward. They haven't. They're retreating, but they're not. We haven't actually entered a retreat phase yet. Okay, well that took a little bit of doing and chasing, but finally managed to break a couple more artillery units to the point where we got them into the retreat phase, and we're just about to the end of that. So we should have the end of the battle here. It's going to be a minor victory, and yeah, I mean he took the higher percentage of losses because he had a smaller force, but we took more casualties, 600 more casualties than the Union did. So we have fought 2 tactical battles so far in this campaign, and they were both, quote, wins, unquote, but I can't afford wins like this. Alright. Good news, though, is that our artillery did much better, at least in terms of they didn't get shellacked like last time. So that's one good thing. Took a lot of infantry losses here, a little bit of cav. This was all from artillery on that little bitty Lomax brigade. Did take out a lot of his guns. Hopefully we capture something nice here. We'll see. And there you have it. Let's have a look this time at how our artillery did. Nope, got the wrong. Okay, Pemberton's division 215 losses inflicted. And Pelham's division, 149. So about 350, a little over 350 casualties, which is probably not bad for 6-pound field guns. And the fact that for quite a while we had them on counter battery fire, which isn't going to inflict that many casualties either, because enemy artillery is, artillery units in general are a fairly low number of men. Okay, so we did about 350 with our arty, and let's see if we can suss out. We may have to go battalion by battalion in the Union. Zero losses inflicted by this artillery. Five by this artillery. 50. So we're up to 55. Up to 80 with this artillery. And 80. Okay, so 160-ish, that's an estimate, by the Union artillery, and about 350 for ours. So at least we came out on the right side for artillery exchange in this battle. Overall, not so much. This volunteer brigade is here. So this is the division that came in hard on our left. And yeah, they inflicted 1,600 casualties in that attack. And that was the biggest performing Union division, followed closely by their 2nd division. And they're just numbers, so it's hard to tell exactly where these guys were. I'm guessing these guys were probably... Yeah, these guys were probably in the center, because this is the 1st cav that inflicted 1,300 casualties. And I think that was that guy that probably ran out of ammunition there in the center, would be my guess. Okay. Well, there you have it. Second battle in the Winchester area. It says Battle of Front Royal Bridge. It was a pretty bloody battle for us. They're in the pre-dawn darkness. Pemberton, famous artillery guy, and Donelson defamed. Yeah, that was his brigade that routed on the corner of the breastworks. None captured, whereas we have 1,088 missing. So he actually captured 1,000 of our guys in this, quote, victory, unquote. Did get a few guns and 2,400 rifles. Or 2,400 small arms, anyway. Just because it says rifles here doesn't mean they're actually rifles. They could include muskets. Let's see if anything jumps out at us as having been captured. Okay, that looks the same. We did get a few of those Hall carbines after all. Only 32. But, you know, if we do that 100 more times, then we'll have, you know, or 50 more times, we'll have enough for a brigade. Ooh. I think we captured some parrots. And I've got some fairly small artillery battalions. There may be enough there for somebody somewhere. I'll have a look at that. And we do have a few more Springfield rifle muskets that can go out too. I think we got about 3 brigades worth, or at least 2 brigades, depending on their size. That's a pretty good hit there. I don't think I had 10 12-pound Napoleons before either. I think we got enough there for a battalion somewhere. Okay. All right, well, that will do for this episode. If you like what we're doing with the channel, you like the content, then leave a like, leave a comment, maybe even subscribe. But at any rate, thank you very, very much for watching. I appreciate it.